Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashish Bansal. I am here you to represent the news of 30 and 31st of August 2020. Now, before starting the news, that are the important two news of 30 and 31st August. But before starting that, I want to tell you that you can subscribe our current affairs PDF by visiting our website, that is the Affairs Cloud /current affairs. What you will get in the current affairs PDF, you will get the current affairs in English as well as in Hindi, and you will get daily current affairs, daily question and answers, weekly current affairs and the weekly test, monthly current affair and the monthly test. This is the benefit of Affairs Cloud PDF because you will get test simultaneously. These current affairs are provided at a very minimal cost, but if you want extra 10% discount on that cost, you can use ASH10 code. It means ASH10, that is my name initials, that is ASH10. You will get 10% extra discount. Now let's start today's news, that is the 30 and 31st August 2020. Now here is first question, that Department of Economic Affairs, that is under Ministry of Finance, in partnership with which organization launched the Sustainable Finance Collaborative for India? Now you all know that is the Sustainable Development Program, but this is the Sustainable Finance Collaborative for India. It means finance on that projects which can be used for sustainable activities like environment friendly projects, like green projects, green finance instruments, which can be used for the sustainable development. Now tell me answer within 5 seconds. I am giving you 5 seconds, guys, and we want 300 like, guys. I already told you in every video that please give us 300 likes because it will provide the basic motivation to grow. And if you give us 300 likes, then it is very beneficial for you also, because we can create content like that in future also. So give us 300 likes, guys. Now tell me answer within 5 seconds. You have 4 options and the answer is very simple, and answer is UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program. The people thinking about C option, they are right. Now you can see that UNDP, that is the United Nations Development Program under the Ministry of Finance, that is Department of Economic Affairs, both collaborated to develop the Sustainable Finance Collaborative. Now what is this? This is, I already told you that main aim of the Sustainable Finance Architecture in India to accelerate green finance by bringing together leading experts and organizations so that the target of sustainable development can be achieved. Before COVID-19, it was estimated that India needs USD 2.6 trillion to meet the SDG targets by 2020, because that is the Sustainable Development Goals. It was started in 2015 and it will end in 2030. There are 17 goals under the Sustainable Development Goals which have to achieve by every country by the year 2030. So India also have to achieve these targets. So they need some sustainable finance architecture so that they can achieve these type of targets. Now, what about United Nations Development Program? Administrator is Ashim Stinter and headquarter is in New York. Most important is the headquarter. And you have to know these headquarters also, that IMF, I already told you, that is in Washington DC. World Bank also Washington DC, WTO Geneva, UNDP, that is in New York. Now moving to the next question, but before that, related news to this section is that is the 15th Finance Commission has submitted financial year 2020-21 report, and Indian government has accepted these recommendations for the rural local bodies. What is the recommendation? That the commission has recommended that grant of 60,000, approximately 60,000 and 500 crore or the 750 crore for a period of to the rural local bodies. It means that it should be the panchayats or the that is the Jila Parishad at the district level, at the village level or the block level. This is the highest ever allocation made by the Finance Commission in a single year. Now related question regarding GK, that is the who is the chairman of 15th Finance Commission? Tell me in comment box, guys, fast. Now next question is, which startup challenge contest was launched by Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad to encourage startup and software products? Now news is very simple, that government want to start or government want to motivate that persons or that young quality in India who want to start up or who want to create a new ideas regarding the software products. So what is the name of that contest that is recently launched by Ravi Shankar Prasad ji? Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Minister of Electronics and Information Technology. Yes. And your 5 seconds are over, and answer is Chanoti, that is challenge. In English it is known as challenge, and in Hindi it is known as Chanoti. You can see Ravi Shankar Prasad, Minister of Electronics and IT Communication, started the campaign or contest known as the Chanoti. The contest is a part of 95 crore program spanning over 3 years. It will be over in after 3 years. This hunt for around 300 startups working in identified areas and to provide them seed funds of rupees 25 lakh. It means to grow up or to start up, the government will provide some funds that is up to 25 lakh. But the product of the startup should be in the software technological parks in India. It means the product should be related to the software or any kind of the startups. About Minister of Electronics, you all know that is Ravi Shankar Prasad constituency. You should know that is the Patna Sahib, Bihar, and Minister of State is Sanjay Dhotre. Now, one thing more, the support of this startup can be monetary form, like you are seeing here, that is the 25 lakh rupees, but it can also be in the form of like facilities, mentorship, security facilities, like industry connect. Like the legal formation, human resource, anything. It cannot be only in the monetary form, but it can also be in the other forms which are non-materialistic things. So this will help these startups to grow. So this is very important. And under this meeting or under this contest, Ravi Shankar Prasad ji launched an institute. I have covered this in a single question. You can see the question here, in which state the foundation stone of the Digital Training and Skill Center of the National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology laid. Now, a new institute is set up, that is the Digital Training and Skill Center. The institute name is the National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. You have to tell me in which state it is launched. The foundation stone has been laid down by the Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. Now tell me where it is launched or where it is laid. That is the four options, and you have 5 seconds. Give me answer within 5 seconds, and your time is over. And the answer is Bihar. Yes, answer is Bihar. Who are thinking about Bihar, that are right. And in Bihar, it is established in Muzaffarpur. In Muzaffarpur, total cost will be the 9.17 crore to set up this. You can see in the here, that is 9.17 crore. And you have to remember that it is established in Muzaffarpur, Bihar. So, who are preparing for the BPPSC, they can be asked that which district. So, remember Muzaffarpur. Now, moving to the next question. Who addressed the inaugural session of the 2 days World Urdu Conference? Now, this is for the development of the Urdu and the propagation of the Urdu language. Now, tell me, who addressed this Urdu conference? I am giving you 5 seconds, and the answer is very simple, because you have to just relate to this Urdu festival with the ministry. Yes. And answer is very simple. Answer is B, that is Shri Ramesh Pokhriyal, who is known as the Nishank. Every language, because every language is developing on the platform of social media, like electronic media, but Urdu language is lack in that type of media or the digital media. So that's why Nishank ji mainly focused on the responsibility of Urdu writers in the age of electronic and the social media. And he also announced one more important thing, that to honor the Urdu writers and the literature with awards and honors in the name of important personalities of the Urdu, to encourage Urdu writers for literary and creative services by Urdu Council from next year. It means a type of award will be given to the Urdu writers or the persons related to the Urdu literature. You can see here Nishank ji address the Urdu conference, and this Urdu conference is organized by National Council for Promotion of Urdu Language. Now, the webinar titles that responsibility of Urdu writers in the age of electronic and social media. I already told you. Another languages are growing on the platform of the electronic and social media, but Urdu writers are lacking in that. One one or more thing you have to remember about the National Council of Promotion for Urdu is set up in the 1996, and it was declared as the nodal agency for promotion of Urdu in the country to promote the mainstream Urdu, so that it can promote the Urdu language, it can propagate the Urdu language. And especially for Urdu language, there is one school, that is the madrasa schools. They taught, that is the Urdu language. Next question, India granted $5 million to which country for the development of the border area with India? Now it is one of the Indian neighboring country. It was pact signed by Manmohan Singh government. So it is related to the Manmohan Singh government, but the installments are given by the Modi government. So you have to tell me which country it is. Now you have 4 options and give me answer within 5 seconds. Your time period starts now. Answer guys within fast. And your answer is Myanmar. Myanmar. You can easily eliminate the options. Nepal can't be there because the India and Nepal relation is not going good in the past 3 or 4 months. Bangladesh can be there. It can't be Afghanistan because Afghanistan internal matters are going very high, but answer is Myanmar. Now, this is a pact signed by Manmohan Singh government. You can see here that pact signed by Manmohan Singh government in 2012. So, this is total $25 million pact in the 5 installments. You can say in the 5 equal installments. That is the $5 million each annually, and it is started in 2007 by providing the money, and till 2007, 17, 18, 19 and 20, 4 installment. It means it is the 4th installment given by Modi government, and in 2021 it will be over. Now what about Myanmar? Capital is Naypyidaw, currency is the Burmese kyat. You have to remember this word, that is the kyat. President is Win Myint, and most famous leader is Aung San Suu Kyi, that is a democratic leader, very famous leader who was arrested as a figure of democracy. Yes, he was very famous lady. Now one more thing regarding GK question, and there is a 1600-kilometer border with Myanmar, and it touches border with the 4 northeastern states, that is the Manipur. You have to remember this, that is the Manipur. Second is the Nagaland. Third is the Arunachal Pradesh, and fourth is Mizoram. Yes, these are the 4 northeastern states which are touching boundary with the Myanmar. Now tell me in the comment box that India shares maximum boundary with which country, and the minimum boundary with which country. Tell me fast in the comment box. And here is the next question. Which state is going to set up India's first international women trade center? This is very important. World Trade Center for Women Enterprises. That is very important because this is one of the sustainable development goal to empower women, and it is the International Women Trade Center. So it is very important because to accelerate women entrepreneurship and secure gender parity while providing them a safe place to start new businesses, set up or expand, and get their products marked globally. This is the main aim to set up this World Trade Center. Now tell me answer within 5 seconds and give me answer, and especially I am expecting answer from the women group or the girls group. Now give me answer within 5 seconds, and the answer is yes, answer is Kerala. Kerala become the first state who set up India's first international women trade center to increase or to enhance the women entrepreneurship. You can see here, and main aim of this is sustainable development goals of the United Nations Development Program at Angamali, Kochi, Kerala, where it is set up, that is the Angamali, Kochi, Kerala. The International Women Trade Center will serve as the facilitator to launch the own ventures of the women entrepreneurs, so that maximum to maximum women can become entrepreneurs and can become successful businessmen. This will increase the competitiveness among the women entrepreneurs should utilize market opportunities, so that it will enhance the women empowerment. And recent related news regarding Kerala is Chief Minister Kerala Pinari Vijayan launched KRERA, that is the K stands for the Kerala Real Estate Regulatory Authority, to bring confidence and transparency in real estate sector among the customers. So by visiting the online platform of the RERA, you can register your house, you can register your property. So it brings us the transparency in the real estate sector. Now, second news is Kerala Chief Minister Pinari Vijayan launched Yoda, that is the Yoda Warrior. It is also known as the Yoda mobile app at Kochi, Kerala, which the public can inform police about drug abuse and distribution. It means to control the drug sector. This app is very useful. And third news I am giving you that Kerala become the first state who granted internet as a fundamental right. Internet as a fundamental right. Now, next news, India and which country carried out a review of their defense ties at a virtual meet of the 14th Defense Policy Dialogue? Now, what is this defense policy dialogue? It means these two countries decided to boost their defense and security partnership and to boost bilateral maritime security cooperation so that both the countries can boost their defense and security partnership system. It can also be helpful for the humanitarian crisis and for the disaster relief. Yes, tell me answer within 5 seconds and give me answer within 5 seconds. Which is the country with India and that country signed the defense policy dialogue. And this country is, if you are thinking about the Vietnam, then it is wrong. Answer is Singapore. Answer is C. Yes, answer is C. You can say here 14th India-Singapore defense policy. Both the country decided to boost their defense and security partnership with focus to boost bilateral maritime security of cooperation. It means both countries want to develop maritime security cooperation. The implementing arrangement on humanitarian assistance, it means on the humanitarian crisis, both countries can support each other, and during the disaster relief, both countries can support each other. So it will boost both countries. What about Singapore? Prime Minister is Lee Hsien Loong and currency is Singapore dollar. Currency is not important, but Prime Minister is important. Now moving to the next question, but before that, one news related to this ministry, that is the Union Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, represented India in the virtual meeting of G20. Now you have to remember in 2020, which country is presiding G20? That is the Saudi Arabia. So remember this thing. And G20 has 20 countries, but many people confuse in the 20 countries because there are not 20 countries in this G20 group. There are 19 countries, but one is the organization. Now tell me in the comment box, which is organization, what is the name of that organization which is member of this G20? And second important news is India Navy and Japanese Navy have conducted a long naval exercise, that is the PAS-X. This is very important news. You have to write this news, that is PAS-X, naval exercise in between India and the Japan Navy. PAS-X. It means this is the passing exercise, because when you are moving from India to this is the southeast area, that is the South China Sea, then you have to move through the state of Malacca. Now, next news, who attended the 8th East Asia Summit Economic Minister meeting, which was held virtually? Yes, all the meetings held virtually because of the COVID-19. Now tell me, 8th East Asia Summit Economic Minister meeting was attended by whom? One thing more, this meeting is attended by the ASEAN member countries, and some more countries like Australia, China, India, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Russia, and United States. And ASEAN's all member countries economic minister also attended this meeting. I already gave you hint that all economic ministers of the countries attended this meeting. Now give me answer. Now this is very simple now, and the answer is none of these guys. Nothing is right in these options, because answer is the fifth option, that is the Piyush Goyal. You can see here Piyush Goyal virtually attended 8th East Asia Summit Economic Minister, and all the ASEAN countries plus some countries like Australia, China, India, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Russia, and the United States also attended this meeting. But you all know that ASEAN presidentship lies with the Vietnam. That's why this meeting is chaired by the Vietnam industry minister, that is the Tran Tu Um. You don't have to remember this name, only remember this Vietnam. Discussions were held to accelerate economic growth. Yes, economic growth of the ASEAN countries and the other countries, maintain supply chains for the trade stability and the market stability. The minister welcomed regional initiatives. It means the regional initiative by the ASEAN countries and the other countries, and to establish ASEAN COVID-19 response fund, so that this fund can be utilized for the COVID-19 or the post COVID-19 assessment. And the second is the ASEAN regional reserve of medical supplies, so that everyone or the every country can be served through the medicine during this COVID-19 pandemic. This is very important. Two things started under this meeting, that is the ASEAN COVID-19 response fund and the ASEAN regional reserve of the medicine supplies. So it will help to tackle the COVID-19 problem. Now, recent related news to ASEAN. I already told you that this summit was chaired by the Vietnam, because this year Vietnam is the chairman of the ASEAN. Now, second is the, what about ASEAN? Every day I told you that ASEAN Secretariat, it means the headquarters is in the Jakarta, Indonesia. Chairman is Vietnam Prime Minister, and General Secretary is H.E. Dato Lim Jock Hoo. Now, moving to next question, what is the rank of India in the global ranking of monthly average wages index? It means the monthly average wages according to the overall year process, that is the average wages index. It is prepared by the one site that is known as Peabody.com. Peabody.com. This site ranked the global countries. And what is the rank of the India? You have to tell me within 5 seconds. Switzerland topped this index, and Cuba is the lowest under this index. And tell me what is the India's rank. I already gave you hint. What is the India's rank? Yes, tell me guys fast. And the answer is yes, 72. India's rank is 72 out of 106 countries. Out of 106 countries, India rank is 72, because you can see here India's average monthly wages are 32,800. This is very low, guys, because 32,800 is just $437. Is just $437. Even the Switzerland topped under this index, and Switzerland income is $5,989. That is the monthly average wages, and India is $437. If you convert into the Indian rupee, then it can be like 4,50,000 rupee. About 4,50,000. India is 32, and India is very lacking in the wages. Global ranking of average wages were prepared by Peabody.com, and India is 72nd rank among the 106 countries, and average wages, I already told you, topped by Switzerland and lowest by Cuba. But one thing more important is, among Asian countries, this index ranked 16 Asian countries, and among Asian countries, India ranked 10th. Under this index, Asian countries also, India ranked poor. Related news to that, and you can see here, under the Asian country, Singapore topped. Recently, news related to that, in accordance with the latest Global Forest Resource Assessment 2020 brought out by the Food and Agriculture Association, that is FAO, India has ranked third among the top 10 countries that have gained the forest area. That is a good news for India, that India gained some forest area in the recent past of the 10 years, that you can say from 2010 to 20. India gained some percentage of the forest area. Overall, India. Now, moving to the next question. Who attended the meeting between the sports minister of BRICS nation? That is very simple and very lollipop type question. That is, who attended or who addressed this meeting on behalf of India? BRICS, you know, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This group is established in 2009, but South Africa added in 2010. And you have to tell me answer within 5 seconds. Yes, answer is very simple. A option, because our Minister of State independent charge of sports is Shri Kiren Rijiju. You can say here Shri Kiren Rijiju. In the 2014 Modi government, he was Minister of State of Home, but now he is Minister of State of Sports. attending the BRICS sport ministers. Main aim, you all know that impact of COVID-19 on sports, and discuss way to bring back normalcy in the industry so that every sports can bring back in the normalcy, so that COVID-19 effect on the sports can be reduced. Because Tokyo Olympics also postponed to the 2021. But two or three important news I bring you here. That is, Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju announced that India may host the BRICS Games in 2021. But the word "may" is very confusing, because India can host the BRICS Games in 2021, but it is not the surely announcement by the Kiren Rijiju, but it can be integrated with the Khelo India Games in India. So India can host the BRICS Games in 2021. Haryana will host the fourth edition of Khelo India Youth Games. Now tell me, in 2020, who will host the Khelo India Games if it happens? So tell me answer within 5 seconds, and I will tell you the answer, or you can tell me in the comment box. Yes, I will answer in the comment box to you, but comment me in the comment box. India is set to get chairmanship of the five nation. It means India will chair the BRICS nations in 2021. Two or three news are very important. I am repeating again this news. That is, India may host the BRICS games in 2021, because India is also um, um, integrating these games with the Khelo India Games in India. Haryana will host the fourth edition of Khelo India Youth Games, and India will get the chairmanship of the BRICS nation in 2021. Now, next question. Who became the first Indian origin woman to be honored with Memorial Blue Plaque in London? Blue Plaque, basically, but it is Blue Plaque. It is given by the English charity, heritage charity, and it honors only the notable people and the organizations of the past and the buildings in which they lived or worked. It means it will be provided, or it is provided posthumously. Now it is given in London, and you have to tell me first Indian origin woman who was honored with this. And you have four options. Tell me answer within 5 seconds. And all the persons are very important, and all are known personalities. Now tell me answer. And the answer is very simple: Noor Inayat Khan. You can see here her image, Noor Inayat Khan. Now, she is the first Muslim war heroine of Britain, because he first female wireless operator sent from the UK into the Nazi occupied. Nazi occupied means it is the Hitler occupied France, to aid the French resistance during the World War II. Now tell me answer within 2 or 3 seconds. That is, who? What is the time period of the World War II? Time period of World War II is 1939 to 1945. That is the time period. And during this World War II, she acted as a first female wireless operator who sent from the UK to the Nazi occupied France, so that they can aid the French resistance during World War II, so that they can help the French to recontrol the area. Now, next is the Sarabani Basu wrote a book on the Noor Inayat Khan. You have to remember this lady who wrote this book about the Noor Inayat Khan. The name is The Spy Princess, The Life of the Noor Inayat Khan, the title of the book. Now, what about English Heritage, who gave this award? That headquarters is in Swindon, England, and chief executive is Kate Maver. You don't have to remember that Kate Maver. Just remember the headquarters, that is in England. Now, Blue Plaque, I already told you, that was founded in 1866, and many other awards inspired from this Blue Plaque. And it is run by English Heritage, and honors notable people and the organization of the past. It means it is given posthumously, and the buildings in which they lived and worked. Next question. Which bank is awarded with Brandon Human Capital Management Excellence Award 2020 for its Human Resource Initiative Nai Disha? For its Human Resource Initiative, that is Nai Disha. You have to tell me which bank awarded with this award. Now give me answer within 5 or 6 seconds, because this is one of the tough questions of the day. So I am giving you 2 or 3 seconds extra. You can think very patiently and give me answer. and answer is SBI. Yes, B answer is the right answer. You can see here SBI gets this award for their campaign or for their product, that is the Nai Disha. Now, what is this initiative? Nai Disha was launched in 2019 and has been over 1.5 years, has made over 2.40 lakh employees to remain highly motivated. So, how it motivates? Because it allows the family members to inform the bank if an employee is unable to leave home for work on time. It means if the employee is not well, or if he is not able to go to work, then a family member can tell the authorities so that the relation between the family member and the employers can be generated. So it is for the human resource development. Now, what about SBI? Headquarters in Mumbai. Chairman is Rajneesh Kumar. Most important is the tagline. Tagline is the banker to every nation. The nation bank on us. Pure banking, nothing else. A bank on common man. With you all the way. These are all the slogans of the SBI. Remember all these. Write these 2 or 3 times. You will remember in 2 or 3 days. Now, moving to next question. Who has created and launched an in-house mobile application, that is the Pensioners Corner, to get in touch with the pensioners? So, already in the question is given that to touch with the pensioner, it means to touch all the pensioners. The app is launched by which department? You have to tell me answer within 5 seconds. Yes, yes, answer, quick answer. This is very simple question. So this app will help the pensioners to connect to CISF units across the country, so they can connect all the CISF units after retirement. And there is a inbuilt grievance redressal mechanism, and even they can get a job after retirement. So this will circulate the job opportunities, and even benefits related to pensioners can also be assessed through the app. So tell me answer, and answer is CISF. Yes, you heard right. Answer is D, CISF, Central Industry Security Force. You can see here CISF, and this is the lab, that is the CISF Pensioners Corner app. How it will help? It will also cater to needs of its pensioners. It is a part of e-Karyalaya, of an electronic official app launched in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, so that pensioners can touch through this app and can assess every type of scheme or every type of benefits associated with it. This app will help have an SMS invitation system which will notify the pensioner on important events happening at the nearest CSF unit, so that they can attend this type of event. And this app will send message to the pensioner so that they can reach to the nearest CSF unit. It will have an inbuilt grievance redressal mechanism. All the important circulars like job opportunities, benefits related to the pensioner can also be assessed by the app. Now, a recent related news to that is Prakash Javadekar, Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Informing and Broadcasting, hailed Kurma. Kurma means, that is, conservation of Indian turtle. This is for the conservation of Indian turtles, like olive turtles in the Odisha. So this is for the conservation of the Indian turtle as a unique tool for tracking and reporting Indian turtles and the tortoises. And you can see here the second initiative is by the SEBI, that is the Securities and Exchange Board of India, the regulator for the all security market in India, like the capital market, that is the shares, debentures, and all the things related to the capital market. They introduced a mobile app called SEBI Scores. It means that is the SEBI complaints redress system. It means all the complaints regarding the SEBI, you can be complained through this type of mobile app, that is the SEBI Scores. Now moving to the next question, that is China launched the first of the 4 advanced naval warships type 054A, this is A, class frigates for which country navy? Now China, this is the first time that China is trading its very crucial naval warship, and this trade happens with which country? You have to tell me within 5 seconds, and your time starts now. Tell me answer, guys. Tell me answer within 5 seconds. You can easily answer that, because which country is friend of China? And that is Pakistan. Yes, it is for Pakistan. You can see here China launches warship for the Pakistan Navy. And this is the 2017 agreement that Pakistan signed a contract with CSTC for delivery of two type of 054A frigates in 2017. So frigate, you can see here frigate means warship, any type of warship that have speed, that is known as the frigates. The warship is fitted with the latest subsurface anti-air weapons. It means it is the best technology. It is fitted with all the sensors and it is automatically operated. And it is very good news for Pakistan Navy fleet. Yes, guys, and Pakistan will become strong by the submarine, or you can say by the ship. It is not a submarine, it is a ship. It is the largest combat ship that China has ever sold to a foreign navy. This is very important because China never reveal its technology, but this is the first time that China is revealing its technology to Pakistan. Now, next question from the picture, learn from picture. Two legendary tennis player brothers, that is the Bayan brothers. You have seen in you have seen both of the players, that is the Robert Charles Byron and the Michael Charles Byron. The initials are known as the Bob and the Mike. That is the nickname of them. And the most successful American double tennis player, because this is a combination of the doubles. That's why it is the most successful American double tennis player, because they hails from the America. And Bryan brothers made their Grand Slam debut in 1995 US Open. Yes, they won US Open in 1995 because they are 42-year-old. They are identical twins. So they debuted in 1995 US Open. And the Bryan brothers finished their career with the 1108 score. With the 1108 score. It means they won 1108 matches and lost 359. You don't have to remember. This is just for information so that you can remember for so long. And they secured number 1 ranking in the ATP doubles. Yes, they secured the number 1 ranking in the ATP doubles in 2003. And so remember both Bryan brothers, and they won 2012 Olympics gold medal in the doubles. Yes. So they played doubles. So you have to remember the country, that is the America, and the name of the players, that is the Bryan brothers. One is the Robert Charles and second is the Michael Carl. Now second news from the obituary, that one Congress member of parliament died recently, that is the Vasantha Kumar. Vasantha Kumar, Congress MP, died. He was also founder of Vasant and Company Limited. This is very famous TV channel, that is the Tamil channel in Tamil Nadu. He passed away at the age of 70 in the hospital in Chennai, and he's the first MP from Tamil Nadu to die due to COVID-19. This is one of the important news for the Tamil Nadu students, that he's the first MP from Tamil Nadu to die due to COVID-19. He also wrote autobiography, that is his book is a 3-book series, that is the known as the Vetri, VETRI, that is the Vetri Padikattu, KATTU, that is Padikattu. Vetri Padikattu, it means ladder of success. That is written as an autobiography of Vasantha Kumar. Now next news again from the obituary, that is athlete coach Purushottam Rai passed away. Athlete coach Purushottam Rai passed away. He was conferred at the, he was awarded as the Dronacharya Award from Ramnath Kovind recently, like 2 or 3 days back. We also covered this news, and but now he died at the age of 79 due to cardiac arrest, not due to the corona, due to cardiac arrest. And the next news is the day that is the most important day of the year, that is the National Sports Day, 29th August 2020. That is the National Sports Day. You have to know why we are commencing this day as the National Sports Day, because it is the birth anniversary of Indian hockey legend Major Dhyan Chand Singh. Major Dhyan Chand Singh. He is very legendary player of the hockey. That's why it is the birth anniversary, and that's why we are celebrating it as National Sports Day. So this day is celebrated to create awareness among the public to the importance of sports and attract attention toward the sports in India. And you have to remember, first sports day, first national sports day was celebrated in year 2012. In year 2012. Now next news is this 29th August, again one day is more, that is the International Day Against Nuclear Test. 29th August, that is the International Day Against Nuclear Test. So main aim to create a nuclear free world. You have to remember, Against Nuclear Test 2020 day is the 29th August. Now next news again from picture, that is a book named as Pitching It Straight. Pitching It Straight. This is the name of the book and it is written by two persons, that is the Gurcharan Singh and his counterpart MS Unnikrishnan or MS Unnikrishnan. The two wrote this book. This book is related to that period when cricket was patronized by royal families only and the life incidents of the Gurcharan Singh during the 1947 partition. So main famous name is the Gurcharan Singh, but it is co-edited by the MS Unnikrishnan or the Unnikrishnan. So he's very famous player and he was also Indian cricket coach. In the age of 37, he started sports coaching, but he also played 37 first class matches for Patiala 11 and even for Railways and for the South Punjab. Clear. He was also honored with the Dronacharya Award. So he was very famous personality and his book, you should know the name of that book. Now next news, and this is the last news of the day. Which state government launched Major Dhyan Chand Vidya, that is the Vijay Path Yojana scheme, on the occasion of this National Sports Day? Major Dhyan Chand Vijay Path Yojana. You have to tell me what is the answer. I will tell you why this scheme is started. And this scheme is started because of the state government selected 19 players so that the road to home of that players will be connected and their name will be according to the name of Chetan Chauhan, who recently died, and he was a former cricketer and politician. Even he was a cabinet minister also. Now you have to tell me answer. Now it is simple because I penned the name, that is the Chetan Chauhan. Now answer is very simple, that is the Uttar Pradesh. You can see here, that is the Mauryaji. International players will get road connectivity to their homes, that are 19 players, and after this 19 players, every player will be included so that the road connectivity to their homes can be utilized. And a road will be named after late cricketer and former cabinet minister Chetan Chauhan. So you have to remember Major Dhyan Chand Vijay Path, that is the Vijay Path Yojana. Vijay Path matlab that is the path, that is the long path. Now I hope you understand all the news very well. I hope all the news are clear, and please give us 300 likes guys, because your 300 likes can motivate us and we can grow much more. And by these 300 likes we can motivate ourselves to create these type of videos and the other content videos also. So subscribe our channel and please write comment in comment box and I will read all the comments. And this is guarantee of study IQ that no question will be outside from our notes in the current affair section. So it will boost your current affair section and it